Muscle cars versus European supercars. Who wins? Welcome back to Vintage Wheels Chronicles. Today, we're diving into one of the most exciting rivalries ever imagined. Classic American muscle cars versus European supercars. These machines weren't just built to drive. They were built to dominate the roads, and in some cases, each other. Let's see how the raw power of Detroit stacks up against the precision engineering of Europe. Round 1, 1970, Dodge Charger RT versus 1971, Ferrari 365, GTB/4 Daytona. 1970, Dodge Charger RT, American Thunder. The 1970 Dodge Charger RT is one of the most iconic muscle cars ever produced. Its aggressive styling and bold presence made it a symbol of American automotive power. The R/T stands for road/track, emphasizing its performance intentions. It came standard with a powerful 440 Magnum V8 engine. The 440 produced an impressive 375 horsepower, but the optional 426 Hemi engine elevated it to a different level. The 426 Hemi delivered a staggering 425 horsepower and 490 pound-feet of torque. This made it one of the most powerful cars of its era. The Charger could rocket from 0 to 60 miles per hour in around 5.5 seconds. In the quarter mile, it could dip into the low 13-second range. It was a street-legal drag car straight from the factory. The Hemi engine earned the nickname the Elephant due to its size and strength. The Charger's body featured a long, aggressive hood and sleek, fastback design. Its hidden headlights gave it a menacing, stealthy look. The signature Coke bottle curves enhanced its visual impact. It had a muscular stance, wide tires, and a heavy-duty rear axle. It looked ready to pounce even when standing still. The 1970 model had a refined front end compared to earlier years. Its split grille and recessed headlights looked futuristic for the time. Inside, the Charger featured a simple but effective interior. Bucket seats provided support for high-speed runs. The dashboard was driver-focused with round gauges and easy-to-reach controls. It offered amenities like air conditioning and power windows for added comfort. While it lacked the refinement of European cars, it made up for it with brute force. Driving the Charger felt like controlling a wild animal. It demanded respect from the driver and everyone on the road. The steering was heavy and not particularly precise. The suspension was built for straight lines, not corners. But in a drag race, it was nearly unbeatable. The Charger's exhaust system produced a deep, thunderous growl. It sounded like a rolling storm. Everyone in the neighborhood knew when a Charger RT was passing by. It quickly gained popularity in pop culture and movies. It was famously featured in Bullitt and the Fast and Furious franchise. Its legacy was cemented by its cinematic presence. This car wasn't just about performance, it was about attitude. Fuel economy was abysmal, often in the single digits. But in 1970, gas was cheap, and horsepower was everything. Insurance companies feared it, and rightly so. Young drivers loved it for its rebellious image. It embodied the spirit of freedom and raw American power. The Charger RT was easy to work on due to its mechanical simplicity. Enthusiasts loved modifying and racing them. Many examples found themselves at local drag strips every weekend. Today, restored models fetch high prices at auctions. Especially rare versions with factory Hemis are collector's gold. It weighs over 4,000 pounds, but its torque made it feel lighter. The rear-wheel drive layout made it a burnout king. Traction control? Forget about it. This was all driver skill. It had a limited slip differential for better traction on hard launches. Many owners added aftermarket headers and performance exhausts. Even more power could be squeezed from the big block V8. Paint schemes like Plum Crazy, Hemi Orange, and Top Banana became legendary. The Charger was offered in many wild colors that added to its personality. The optional RT stripe on the rear added racing flair. Magnum 500 wheels completed the menacing look. While the build quality wasn't world-class, it didn't matter. This was a car for people who loved driving fast and loud. The Charger's name alone still excites gearheads today. Mopar fans consider it one of the holy grails. It was often customized with blower setups or nitrous oxide for racing. Many still race today in classic car events. Its body-on-frame construction made it tough as nails. You could crash it, fix it, and race it again. In a straight line, it competed with Ferraris and Porsches of the era. The difference was price. The Charger cost far less. That made it accessible to the everyday speed freak. Police hated it because it was faster than their cruisers. It was known as the ultimate getaway car in fiction and reality. Drag racers used it in NHRA Superstock competitions. Some versions came with a six-pack carburetor setup. The triple carb setup boosted throttle response and performance. Owners loved the simplicity and toughness of Mopar V8s. The Charger RT remains a muscle car icon to this day. It's still a favorite at car shows and collector meets. It's also one of the most cloned cars in the resto mod world. Builders love blending old-school muscle with modern tech inside a Charger. The car's popularity has never truly faded. Even Dodge's modern Charger pays tribute to this legend. The 1970 Charger RT remains a dream car for many gearheads. It's not the best-handling car, but it doesn't need to be. Its charm lies in brute force and drama. The Ferrari may out-handle it, but it won't out-shout it. In terms of road presence, few cars can match it. It turns heads wherever it goes. It's a car that demands to be seen, heard, and feared. American muscle at its loudest and most rebellious. Built during an era where power was king. It's raw, visceral, and beautifully aggressive. You don't just drive a Charger, you make a statement. Even parked, it looks like it's about to explode forward. Every line of the body hints at speed and power. It's the kind of car kids had posters of on their walls. Today, those kids are adults, and they still want one. It may not be refined, but it's unforgettable. A rolling piece of muscle car history. A thunderous American war machine on wheels. It's not for everyone. It's for those who dare. The Charger RT is a legend, loud and proud. And when it goes head-to-head with Ferrari, it's a clash of worlds. 1971 Ferrari 365 IGTB/4 Daytona, Italian Precision. The Ferrari 365 GTB/4, famously known as the Daytona, is one of the most celebrated grand tourers of its time. Introduced in 1968, it was Ferrari's answer to the growing power of American muscle cars. The Daytona nickname came after Ferrari's 1-2-3 victory at the 1967 24 Hours of Daytona. Although never officially named Daytona by Ferrari, the nickname stuck forever. The Daytona was designed by Leonardo Fioravanti at Pininfarina. It broke from Ferrari's traditional curves with a more angular and aggressive shape. Its long, low nose and fastback rear created a dramatic silhouette. Pop-up headlights kept the lines sleek when not in use. The car was built for both style and aerodynamic efficiency. Under the hood sat a glorious 4.4-liter Colombo 512 engine. This engine produced 352 horsepower at 7,500 RPM. The V12 was front-mounted, delivering power to the rear wheels. Paired with a 5-speed manual gearbox, It offered a true enthusiast experience. It used a rear-mounted transaxle for perfect weight distribution. This layout made the Daytona a remarkably balanced machine. It could accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 5.4 seconds. Its top speed exceeded 174 miles per hour, world-class in the early 70s. This made it the fastest production car in the world at the time. While the Dodge Charger roared, the Daytona soared. The sound of the V12 was a mechanical symphony. It wasn't loud in a brutal sense. It was refined, high-pitched, and intoxicating. The chassis featured a double wishbone suspension system at all four corners. Handling was precise, communicative, and confidence-inspiring. Unlike American muscle, the Daytona was made to carve corners with grace. Braking was handled by ventilated disc brakes on all wheels. It offered exceptional stopping power for a car of its speed. The interior was luxurious yet driver-centric. Bucket seats were upholstered in fine Italian leather. The dashboard housed a full array of gauges and chrome-rimmed instruments. The signature gated shifter sat in the center console, clicking like a rifle bolt. The wooden steering wheel added a touch of classic charm. Everything about the cabin was crafted with attention and purpose. Driving a Daytona wasn't just about speed. It was about class and composure. The ride was firm, but not punishing. It excelled at long-distance cruising on high-speed highways. It was built for the autostrada, not the drag strip. Still, it could hold its own against American muscle in a straight line. But in corners, it simply danced circles around them. Its poise and stability at high speeds were unmatched. The Daytona weighed about 3,500 pounds, lighter than many muscle cars. The engine bay was a work of art, with 6 Weber carburetors sitting atop the V12. Maintenance was complex, but rewarding for true Ferrari enthusiasts. Its rarity made it a prized possession among collectors. Only 1,284 Daytona coupes were ever produced. Each one was hand-built with Ferrari's trademark craftsmanship. In 1971, it carried a price tag several times higher than a Charger RT, but owners paid for exclusivity, precision, and pedigree. It was never meant to be a common man's machine. It was built for those who appreciated engineering as much as performance. Many Daytona owners were celebrities, racers, and European elites. Steve McQueen owned one. So did Elton John and Paul Newman. The car made appearances in movies and television, often as the ultimate exotic. Unlike the rough-and-tumble American muscle cars, the Daytona was polished and refined. Its aluminum and steel body panels were shaped for both strength and beauty. Paint quality and panel fitment were leagues ahead of American rivals. Every detail served a purpose, yet looked like art. It was Ferrari's swan song before the mid-engine era began. As the last front-engine V12 Ferrari GT before the 365 GT4 BB, it marked the end of an era. Driving a Daytona is a visceral experience. The throttle is responsive, the clutch heavy, and the steering direct. It demands your full attention, but rewards you with unparalleled joy. On the open road, it feels alive, eager to run, to climb revs, to conquer miles. The Daytona doesn't shout like a muscle car. It whispers speed in your ear. While the Charger might scare you with rawness, the Daytona seduces you with finesse. Its cornering abilities and top-end stability made it a favorite in endurance races. Racing versions of the Daytona competed at Le Mans and Daytona itself. Ferrari's racing DNA was baked into every component. The steering had no power assist. It was pure, heavy, and responsive. You could feel every ripple in the road through your fingertips. The Daytona begged to be driven hard, but never sloppily. It wasn't forgiving of mistakes. It demanded skill. but in skilled hands, it was an unmatched machine. The Daytona was ahead of its time in performance and design. It was a bridge between Ferrari's past and future. Its influence can still be seen in modern GT cars. Modern Ferraris often pay homage to it with long noses and high-revving V12 engines. Even decades later, it remains one of the most beloved Ferraris. Collectors revere it for its purity and analog driving experience. Values for original Daytonas have soared into the multi-million-dollar range. Driving one today is like piloting a relic from a golden age. Every mile feels special, like a conversation with automotive royalty. It may not overpower a muscle car in raw torque, but it outclasses it in every other way. On a winding mountain road, the Charger would struggle to keep up. The Daytona was built to corner, brake, and flow with the road. It wasn't just fast. It was sophisticated. It was mechanical poetry on wheels. And it didn't need flames or noise to impress. Its presence was enough. It still turns heads in Monaco, in Maranello, or at Pebble Beach. And while the Charger might win over a crowd with sound, the Daytona wins with soul. This was the Ferrari you bought to feel every heartbeat of the road. It wasn't just about getting somewhere fast, it was about how you got there. The Daytona's legacy lives on in every modern V12 Ferrari. It remains the benchmark for classic grand touring excellence. Few cars ever achieved its balance of beauty, speed, and heritage. Where the Charger was a hammer, the Daytona was a scalpel. One punched, the other carved. One thrilled through force, the other through finesse. The Ferrari 365 GTB/4. Daytona wasn't just a car, it was a rolling sculpture. And in the muscle versus supercar war, it brought class to the battlefield.